What's up, y'all? This is Kyra right here, and today I'm going to be doing my go-to glam makeup tutorial. And as you can see in these pictures, these are 4 various ways that I am going to show you guys. So right now my face is clean, and I have already cleaned my face like I do in my morning routine. And you guys can check that out in a previous video. And I am using my Master Prime by Maybelline, to prime my face, and it is the Blur Plus Smooth, and it has number 100 on it. And all this does is give your face a base for when you put on your makeup. Alright, now I'm going to take my Real Techniques sponge. It's like a cheaper version of a beauty blender. Dampen it. Then I'm going to dry it and wring it out with my towel. Yeah, excuse my dirty towels. I use it all the time for my beauty blender, so that's why it's so dirty. Alright, now I squeeze out all excess water. Now I'm going to use my Maybelline Fit Me Matte and Poreless Foundation in number 340 or Cappuccino. And I just pour the foundation directly onto the beauty sponge. That's just how I like to do it. It's easier for me that way, because I can control the way I want to put it on. So right now I'm just I kind of just dot it over my face and then blend it in like that. So I'm gonna speed this up so you guys don't have to sit here while I blend in my foundation. So I just kind of go in and just add more foundation based on how much coverage I want, and get a full cover on my face. So that's what I'm doing now. Alright, now I'm going over with my second layer on my neck to make sure that you don't have that discoloration right there. You don't want that harsh line. So I'm blending that neck into my face. So that's what I'm doing right now. Excuse the little Nestle Crunch bumps I got underneath there, you know. Puberty hits you every once in a while, but you know, we ain't gonna let it defeat us. So I'm just going over my face, make sure it's blended. Cool. Now I'm going to go in with my Coty Airspun Loose Face Powder. And this is in Honey Beige. And this kind of has a white tint to it. So I just take this big fluffy brush by Forever 21. And I mentioned this brush set many videos back when I did my makeup haul. I included it, so you guys can go check that out if you want to see what this brush is. And I just kind of use that to set my foundation with that powder, and then I wipe off the excess on a towel, and then I kind of brush off any excess powder because it can leave a white flashback, so that's why I'm doing that. Alright, now I'm using my beauty blender and going back over my face to make sure that my face isn't super washed out and pale, because that doesn't look good either. You want your face to resemble your color somewhat, even though it's lighter. So now we're good. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up that same powder brush, but I'm going to go into a different powder, and this is a finishing powder, soft focus finishing powder in Creamy Bronze Finish by Black Radiance. And of course, as you can tell by the name, it is a makeup brand specifically for black women skin tones. So I'm using that color, it's a little bit darker than my skin, to bronze my cheekbones and the temples of my head. Or my forehead, should I say. And it's not really dark, it just gives my skin a little bit of color so I don't look so pale and flushed out. So yeah, that's what I do instead of contouring, because I feel like that's too harsh personally for me. So I just like a little bit of bronzing effect. So that's what I'm doing right now. Just going over the temples of my forehead and my cheek area and my jawline to kind of give myself some bronzy effect. Yup. You guys can't really see the effect on the camera, but it's bronze, trust me. Alright, now I'm taking my blush, L'Oreal True Match, and it's Soft Sun is the color, and it is a deep tone or warm tone blush for like golden or browner dark skin tones. So this is the type of undertone blush that you would want, so it's not super red or super pink. It gives you a nice natural flush color. So I just kind of put that over the area where I bronze. Then I take that Ulta Sculpting Palette in Astoria and use those 2 light pink shades, those highlighters, and kind of lightly go over the blush and the bronzer to give myself a little bit of lighting, some blindingness, you know. And trust me, it might look a little crazy right now, but I'm gonna tone it down because I'm not a big fan of highlighter, so that's not gonna look like that by the time I do finish. But yeah, you see that? Bam, blinding. So I'm just going back in the blush because sometimes by putting all those different layers, it kind of diminishes the color of the blush, so I'm putting it back. Alright, now I'm good. Now I take my beauty sponge, and once again, that's a Real Technique sponge. It's orange. You can get it from Walmart, and it's no more than $5. And now I'm using my Anastasia Brow Wiz to do my brows. And as you guys can see, I know I didn't show you guys how I do my brows, but I mean, I have to. Brows are one of those things where you have to concentrate, so I had to turn it off. So what I did was I used this small angle brush by e.l.f. and dipped it into my foundation, and I ran it over the top of my brow and underneath my brow to clean it and make it sharp like I wanted it. And then I blended it out with the Real Technique sponge. So that's the technique I use to get my brows done. And once again, the brown pencil I use is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in medium brown. Now I'm going back into that Coty Airspun powder that I used to set my foundation, and I'm just packing that onto my eyelids to prime them for eyeshadow and to make sure that they don't crease up, to make sure that they stay in place and they don't get oily and greasy. So then I'm wiping off the excess to make sure that it stays in place. Bam! So now my eyelids are nice and ready to go for my eyeshadows. So today I'm going to be dipping into 2 palettes. The Makeup Revolution London palette and Redemption eyeshadow palette Iconic 3. Very neutral, bronzy colors, golden. I love those tones. And then a Lancome eyeshadow palette. And this was a holiday edition. You guys might be able to read it, but it said Holiday 2015 Beauty Box Warm Night, and they were selling it for Christmas. So yeah, right now what you guys see me doing is getting my eyeshadow brush. This is a double-sided brush, also by Lancome. One is for packing shadows on the lid, and one is for blending out. And then the brush I just picked up is a Estee Lauder brush, I believe. I don't know specifically what brush it is, but it's a big fluffy brush for your eyes. And that medium brown color that you guys saw me showing you, that was basically almost pan. I'm gonna dip into that lightly and knock off excess and just kind of run that along the crease of my eye. And now I know crease is one of those words that people are like, what? How do I know where my crease is at? Well, usually your crease is higher than your lid cut. So most of the time most people can see where your lid is cut. So you usually want to go over your lid, and that's usually where your crease is at. Where you feel that bone, right? Basically where you feel the beginning of your eye socket is kind of like your crease area. So if you follow that, you should get a good base for your crease. So there it is. That's the smoky effect. Alright, now I'm going to go back in with a dark purple shade. And that's the darkest color in this palette. And I'm just going to run that right under the medium brown to give it more dimension and more of a smoky effect. Now, I'm not really a makeup artist, so this probably won't look as blended and perfectious as it should, but hey, I'm doing my best. So you see, we got something there. It's a little smoky effect. Alright, cool. And then I'm just kind of going back under there, making sure that's nice and blended out with the purple to give a nice smoky effect. And then I'm going back in with that purple and putting it on the outer corner of my eye to just really give some dimension to when I put the glitter there, so it really pops. Alright, now I am going to switch palettes, and I'm going to go into the Lancome palette. And as you can see, I use this palette a whole lot because almost all of them are pan. So I'm using that copper color right in the middle, right there. But first, I have to use my setting spray to prime my brush for the shadows. And I'm pretty sure you guys have heard this before. If you dampen your eyeshadow brush with water or setting spray, it makes it much easier to apply glitters or shimmery shadows. So that is the setting spray that I am using, and this will also be the setting spray I use to actually set my face, so it works for both. So just spray your eyeshadow brush just a little bit, just a little mist, and then just really dig into that shadow, that shimmery glittery shadow. I love that copper color. I think it's so gorgeous. And then I'm just going to pack that on that lid area, right on that empty space. And so yeah, right now I'm just going over, and I go in a couple times to make sure that it has a nice deep copper effect. So that's what I'm doing there, making sure that it's nice and glittery. Cool. Alright, and this, I'm not done. Some of you guys might be like, that's not that shimmery. I'm not finished. But it looks good so far. So now, I'm going to go back into that Makeup Revolution palette and go into that gold color right in the center. And that's going to add that nice reflex. It's really going to add that reflex, that gold reflex tone. See that? Look at that. Already you can see it. That's what you want. So I just kind of pop that in the center and blend it over the center of it. So it just gives it that extra little pop. Yep, now it's popping. Alright, so now I'm going to go and do my under eye area. And I'm going to use the same colors that I used to smoke it out on the top to smoke it on the bottom. So that medium brown shade that I used first and that dark purple shade, I'm just going to run that right under my waterline down there. Just kind of smudge it in there. I'm not going to make it super, super dark. I don't want to look gothic or raccoonish. It's just going to be a little light smoke under there. And so I'm just going back and forth between that medium brown color. You want to use that first, like we did it with the crease area. You want to use the medium brown first, and then go into the dark purple to give a nice transition effect like we did on top. And then after we do that, we're going to go back into that golden shade, and we're going to pop that into the inner corner on the bottom. And that just adds extra pop to your eye if you add dimension on the bottom. It just adds a little more. You don't have to do it under eye, but it just adds a little bit. Now I'm going to do the other eye, and I'll be back. Alright, so now we are good. Both eyes are done, eyeshadow. Now I'm going to use that Colossal Spider Effect Mascara from Maybelline in the darkest color. I'm not sure if they have any other colors, but I always use the darkest color. And yeah, I know y'all look a little strange, but I always have to tilt my head back to get my mascara correct. So that's why I look funny. Oh yeah, you gotta get that length. Now I do have fake eyelashes, but I do not know how to apply them. So that's why I just use mascara, because I'm like, forget it. I'm not going through that trouble. Alright, now it is time for lips. So the first look you saw, I had on this matte lipstick that was a pinkish color. Pinkish, it is pink. And it is a Anastasia Beverly Hills matte lipstick, and the color is in Catnip. And it's a really nice soft pink. It's a little bright, but it can be worn. So bam, there you go. That's what that looks like. So this is the first look that you guys saw. That is the look in the bottom right where I had on the olive green. Not bottom right, top right, sorry. And the picture where I had on the olive green dress, this is the look that I had, even though the lighting wasn't that good. Alright, now what you saw me doing was picking up my bronzer to retouch on my face, to make sure that my face wasn't too pale. Alright, so now I'm done with the first look. So I'm gonna get up and show you guys an up close look of that first look completed. Bam! Success! Alright, so now let's take it up a notch. Let's do eyeliner. So I am going to do a wing on both sides. Now I know you guys probably be like, oh, how do you do that? Like, I'm not good at wing liner at all. So once again, like my eyebrows, I am going to do my wing liner off camera, and then I'll be back with the snatch liner. Alright, so there they are, both of them. It's actually not snatched, they're actually very uneven, but you know, whatever. We all mess up sometimes. So what you see me doing right there is taking my small angle brush by e.l.f. and using some foundation to kind of clean up the liner a little bit and make it more sharp than how I did it. And then going back in, of course, and blending it with the Real Techniques Beauty Sponge. And I mean, you guys, that sponge works just as good as a actual beauty blender that you can get for 20 bucks. And it's literally like, I don't think it's even $5, and it works just as good. So yeah, here's that same look, but with liner, so you spice it up a little bit. Alright, now here's that look with the liner, but I changed the lip. And this is a neutral mauve, it's hard to pronounce that, color lip. And this color is Trendy Mauve, and it is a creamy lipstick. I believe it's by Lancome. It's very pretty, very neutral. And I do like that. I probably will wear this more than I would the Catnip by Anastasia Beverly Hills. That's a little much for me. Then there's this Buxom Gloss, and this is in the color Jennifer. And I am a gloss girl, so I'm more than likely going to be wearing gloss in this video. That's probably going to be the look I end up going with. Because gloss, I don't know, it just adds that extra oomph, you know? So yeah. there's the 3 different looks, you guys. So now I just went on and put on my clothes and my accessories, and I am ready to go out for the day. I'm just doing a little posing, you know. So make sure y'all go check out the other looks again if you want to see them with the 3 different lip colors. And that is it. So I hope y'all like that video, and make sure you subscribe down below if you haven't already. And peace on the streets, and don't forget to check out my peeps. So yeah, my friend Korrien made that for me, so thanks, shout out to Corey. So I'm gonna set my face with that Maybelline setting spray, and I am now done. So see y'all later, deuce.